What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on another e-bike, and this one's actually pretty interesting because it's kind of a mix of being an affordable e-bike but also having some features that are kind of premium and kind of nice, like something you would see on a more expensive e-bike. So right out the gate, this bike is going to be coming in at about $1,299 US. So I just want to let you know that the $12.99 price is the MSRP price if you were to buy it somewhere else in the world. But Eskute.com does offer a discounted price of $11.99 if you buy it on their website. It's not guaranteed. It could change. But at the time I'm filming this video, it did show that they have a $100 discount on their website. And also, if you purchase this on their Amazon store, they offer this bike for only $1,099. So you can save a couple $100 if you buy it on their Amazon store. So that's pretty cool. Will these prices change? I don't know. But if you order now, those are the prices that I saw online. All right, so what we have here, like I said, is the Eskute Netuno electric mountain bike. And this thing is kind of nice because it's not your budget cheap bike. You know, a lot of these bikes you'll see out there on Amazon or on the internet in general, you know, they sell for about $700, $800, even $1,000, and they don't come with a lot of features that this bike has. So this bike at the $1,299 price point, you get a lot of cool things. So right out the gate, the heart of any e-bike, in my opinion, is going to be the battery packs and the motors. So this battery pack on here, as you can see, it's integrated into the aluminum frame. It's got a key that locks it in there so no one can just easily steal it. There's also a power button there to turn it on. And there's also a power switch underneath this weatherproof cap that I thought was interesting. I haven't seen that on a lot of other e-bikes. And they advertise their battery pack to be made with LG and Samsung cells. So that right there is a big selling point when your cells are made with well-respected batteries like Samsung and LG. By the way, the battery pack is a 48 volt, 15 amp hour Samsung and LG battery pack with a 720 watt hour battery. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to actually charge this from dead. That's where you plug in right there to charge the bike. There's a weather resistant rubber cover for the charge port. And I like how it's nicely integrated into the frame. It's not that piggyback style you see on a lot of these budget bikes where it looks like they just bolt a big battery pack onto the down tube. This one is engineered to fit inside the frame. So it's a good clean look. Probably helps keep it a little bit cleaner too, out of the elements when it's tucked away inside there. Very nice. So LG and Samsung cells, big kudos there. Nice move, Eskute, very good. Then moving to the other part that I believe that is like the heart of any e-bike is going to be the motor. So as you can see down there, I don't know if you can see the lettering, it says Bafang. So this is a Bafang hub drive. It's a 500 watt, 750 watt peak hub drive motor. And if you don't know the name Bafang, well, then you probably don't know enough about e-bikes because they're pretty much one of the biggest names in e-bikes, at least in the Pacific and Asian regions. Of course, they probably have to compete a little bit more with the Europeans out in that area. But in the Pacific and in Asia, Bafang is pretty much the top dog in my opinion. And they're well respected. They've been around a long time, making quality, powerful hub drive motors. They even make mid-drive motors as well. Matter of fact, I think Eskute makes a mid-drive model. Hopefully I'll get my hands on one of those to do a review on one of those as well. But we're going to do one on this one here first. You have a 7-speed Shimano gear set in the back. It says Shimano Tourney TZ derailleur right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so you have 7 gears with the Tourney TZ derailleur. Single chainring in the front. And then the shifter up here. This is a Shimano 7-speed SIS index thumb shifter. This is the kind that you have to use your thumb over the top. So up and down. using your thumb just like that. And that's pretty standard. I see that on a lot of e-bikes. And then of course the wheel set. This is a 27.5-inch wheel set. And they do have branding on them, but I'm not exactly sure who makes them. It does say, I can't even read the letters. It says, I think it says 6R Rainbow. I'm not even sure exactly what that says. And then it says DX3000 and 27.5 by, let's see, where's it at? 27.5 by 2.10. So just over 2 inches wide. So these are what I would consider more of an off-road tire. I've seen some bikes that have more street bias kind of tires, but these are knobby, nice and knobby. Good for going off-road, you know, off the trail. If you're gonna ride this like a mountain bike. It is a hardtail, so you're not gonna have any suspension in the back. But again, with the front suspension along with the two, basically just over 2 inch wide tires, that should be pretty comfortable in general. Just for mild off-roading like you see here, these trails, having some fun. I think this really shines more as a commuter bike that's tough. It's like a really tough commuter bike versus having a road bike to go to school or work. So the tires are also a brand name that I'm familiar with. These are Kendas. So that's cool. They come with an actual brand name tire. A lot of times these bikes will come with tires I've never heard of before. But yeah, Kenda is, again, well-respected quality tire. Should perform well and last a long time depending on how you use it. It has mechanical disc brakes, front and rear. And these ones are branded Ride Tech. And they do have 160 millimeter rotors, front and rear. There's the front ones. So what you get with mechanical disc brakes is reliability and less maintenance. So if you don't know, hydraulic disc brakes are more powerful, but you have to maintain the hydraulic fluid, make sure it doesn't leak. There's no air bubbles, because if you get an air bubble or a leak in hydraulic lines, you will lose all your brakes, like zero braking. Whereas mechanical disc brakes, I've had a dozen bikes, probably 24 bikes by now, and never had an issue with mechanical brakes failing. They just are rock solid. They do require more gripping of the levers to get them to work, but the upside is they hardly ever fail. Can they fail? I'm sure they can, but I've never experienced a failure in mechanical disc brakes, so that is a nice trade-off. They have aluminum levers, not plastic, and this is kind of nice. This feels kind of premium here. There's rubber inserts here, so it kind of feels nice when you're gripping them. Cheaper bikes, they don't have those rubber inserts, so very nice there. The front wheel, I noticed the front wheel has a quick release lever here, so if you wanted to put this into the back of like an SUV, you could take the front wheel off quickly without tools. That's nice. The back one is just gonna be bolted on, so you're gonna need a tool to unbolt that rear wheel if you wanted to take it off. In my experience though, if you're just taking the front wheel off to put it into the back of a vehicle, that's all you need. You don't need to take the back wheel off, so that makes sense there. The front suspension is a spring fork suspension, so you're probably saving some money there. A lot of times the more higher end $2,000 and up e-bikes will have air forks. These ones are branded Forgo Easing. Never heard of those guys before, but essentially they're a spring fork, and there probably is some lubricant inside there, but essentially that's a spring in there. It's not air. You can lock it out. It says right here ABS. A lot of times they'll say ABS, but it's not ABS like you would think on a motorcycle. Essentially what you can do here is you can lock it out. So if you want the bike to have suspension when you're riding, it'll move up and down. And then if you want to lock it for going like uphill with more efficiency, you can make it a rigid front fork, and then this thing will go uphill a lot easier with a rigid front and a rigid rear end. Another thing that's nice too is it has a headlight built into the bike. So this is wired into the battery. You can see the wire there. It actually goes into the battery there, or at least into the controller and into the battery. And that's nice because, you know, if you're using this as a commuter bike, going to work or school, and you work late or go to school late and it's dark out, you have a light here to get you home safely. You know, it's not one of those clamp-on lights you see clamped onto the handlebars. Those work too, but this just is more elegant. It, again, feels more premium when it's built into the bike. Speaking of lights, it does have a reflector in the back, and this one is battery powered, so you can actually turn it on and you'll have a red light in the back. It's not connected to the battery, so you will have to remember to reach back there and turn it on. But at least you have it for safety. That's nice. Moving up to another premium part here, the stem. This thing is nice. So here's the power. Touch the power button and you'll see the actual control display built into the stem. I've never seen this before. This is what makes me feel like this is more of a premium e-bike. So it's built into the stem. That is nice, man. So there's a little plug here. You'd have to undo that so you could reach the screw that bolts this down into the threadless fork here, the stem. And then of course you got all your readouts. It's in kilometers right now, but you could probably switch that to miles per hour. And then you have your odometer and then your battery reading right there. But yeah, that's pretty nice, man. I like that. It just looks really clean. It gives it a premium feel. And another cool thing, again, that I think this bike has that other bikes don't have is a USB port. So that's a USB Type-C charge port there. So if you want to charge your phone when you're out riding, you can keep your phone charged using the bicycle battery. So that's nice. You never have to worry about having a dead phone. So you just have to have some kind of pocket or a pouch or a mount for your phone and then just plug it in right there. That is really cool. I like that. The handlebars are nice and wide. I think these are probably 700 millimeter wide. They're pretty wide. Makes you feel more stable when you're riding. It's got a built-in bell right here on the left-hand side. So when you come up behind somebody on the trail or on a sidewalk, it's built right in. So that's kind of nice. The wires come out and they're nicely managed with cable keepers. And it goes right into the frame here. It has a rubber grommet to keep the wires from getting damaged. So you can see there's no wires going down the down tube, so it's nice and clean. Very clean look. Over here you can see the this is the basically a rotation sensor. So this is a pedal assist bike. So what that means is there's a sensor right here that senses when you pedal. So if you get like, I don't know what it is, maybe one crank, it'll sense that there's movement there. And then the motor will kick in and go to whatever speed you have it set to right here. So if it's set to, say, speed setting 1, as soon as you start cranking, the motor will go straight to speed setting 1. So that's nice. Pedal assist, pretty nice system there. Real simple, very robust. I've never seen those things fail. Of course, you could ride this thing without power. You can just drop it into 0 and have no power at all. And let's see, this one actually goes up to, I believe, 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has 5 power settings, and they advertise that this goes up to 22 miles per hour right out of the box. We'll put it back down to 0. But yeah, 22 miles per hour is a good speed. You know, that's safe in probably all 50 states here in America. And to be quite honest, 22 miles per hour is pretty fast, especially when you're riding around other people. So if you want to go faster than that, you could pedal and go even faster. Or maybe you can go into the settings and try to unlock the speed. And I don't know how to do that, so don't ask me. But you probably could do that. Most of these e-bikes do have that. Like I said, this feels more premium than just your standard budget e-bike for sure. I like that a lot. And then again, the frame design is pretty cool too. Look how the frame, the dropouts in the back and the chain stays. I like how the rear disc brake is hidden inside the frame. See how the calipers are inside the frame here instead of outside right here? I just like that design. It's a little bit more protected. I like that. And then the crank arms are aluminum. I forgot the exact dimensions, but they're aluminum. And here's a nice touch too. The pedals are aluminum. These are not plastic. So these are probably, I believe these are Welgo, and they are metal, which is nice. And then it has a nice beefy kickstand, and it's mounted in the back into the frame. If you want to take this off and run it without a kickstand, you can. But I like the fact that it has a nice adjustable big kickstand to hold this big bike up. And I will tell you, in my opinion, this bike is kind of big. So I'm 5'9", 200 pounds, so I'm not a small guy. And this bike feels big for me. So just consider that if you're shopping for this bike. If you are a small statured person, this is gonna feel like a tall bike. The stem height is tall. The positioning of the forks, it just feels like a tall bike. You can lower the seat down, obviously, way down, all the way down here, but you can't really change the geometry of how high the stem is because you only have about an inch of spacers there to take out if you wanted to cut it down. So just keep in mind, something to think about. It is a big feeling bike for sure. It does not have a size on the frame. A lot of bikes will have sizes, like 18, 20, 24, whatever. This one doesn't have anything, not even a small, medium, a large. So I would assume that this frame is probably somewhere between medium and large, if I just had to guess. It does have braze-ons for a bottle cage right here, so that's nice. And then it also has braze-ons here for a cargo rack. So you can mount a cargo rack onto that hardtail and carry all kinds of stuff. So if you had like a bike bag, you can put your books, you can put groceries, whatever you want. And these hardtails do really good with racks because there's no suspension to move around back there. It's all solid. So that's actually a big selling point for someone who wants to use this as a commuter bike for work or school. Very cool, right? Another thing I forgot to tell you guys too, this thing has a throttle and it's actually on the right-hand side, like a motorcycle here in America. Seems like a lot of these e-bikes will put the throttle on the left-hand side, and it's just kind of weird at least for me, because I'm an American. Most dirt bikes and mopeds and scooters, anything with a motor, the throttle is on the right. And this e-bike has a throttle on the right where it should be. And I like that. That's really cool. The grips are not lock-on, they are slip-on, but they're on there really tight. And here's a nice touch. They're soft, which is nice, and they have these little palm swells or palm supports. So when your hands are on here for a long period of time, they don't get too fatigued. There's a little bit of support there, which I appreciate. That's nice. That's a nice touch. It's not just a rubber sleeve over the bar like some cheap bikes. It's nice and grippy. It's got some, ability to absorb vibration. And then it also has that palm swell there so your palm can kind of spread out and not get fatigued. Very nice. All right, so some of the specs, some people want to know how far can you ride this bike? Well, that's kind of a tough question to answer really, because it depends on your terrain. Is it flat? Does it have a lot of hills? Is it paved? Is it dirt? Is it sand? Is it gravel? So there's a lot of factors on distance, but they do advertise that this bike can get up to 53 miles of range just on throttle alone. So that's not bad if it's true. Again, you'd have to test that out for yourself and see how it works, but 53 miles is pretty good on one charge. The bike itself weighs roughly 56 pounds or 25.5 kilograms. So it's not the lightest bike in the world, but it's also not one of the heavier ones either. I have e-bikes that weigh 100 pounds. So 56 pounds is not that bad. It's easy to pick up and put it in the back of a truck or on a bike rack. All right, guys, if you want to buy this e-bike, you can go to the eskute.com website where they're doing a sale. I don't know how long it's going to last, but instead of the $12.99 price, they're going to sell it for $1,199, just saving yourself $100. So that's pretty good. If you act now, I don't know how long it's going to last. And if you choose to buy it on Amazon, on their Amazon store, you'll be able to buy this bike for $1,099. So you can save yourself $200. So that's pretty cool. And then I got you guys a discount code. If you use 06 Mixflip Netuno, you will get yourself an additional 6% off if you use my discount code. Shipping is free here in the United States. I would assume that means in the contiguous, not United States, not Alaska and Hawaii, but I don't know. You'd have to confirm on the website if they'll ship out to those states. Delivery is roughly about 3 to 5 days, but that's cool that it's free shipping, so not bad. They do offer a 2-year warranty, and of course you got to check the website for all the details on what they cover. Usually it's the build, you know, the manufacturing process, and on the electronics and things like that. But go ahead and check the website for all the details on the warranty. And here's another cool thing. They do offer a 15-day return. All right, so as far as paying for this thing, some people ask, can you finance this bike? I checked the website. They don't have a finance program like other companies I've seen. They just use PayPal, pretty standard stuff. So your credit card, your debit card through PayPal, that's how they do business with these bikes. So in the future, will that change? I don't know. But as it stands right now, there's no payment plan. Just use your credit card or debit card through PayPal. All right, guys, there you have it. That is my review of the Eskute Netuno hardtail rear hub drive e-bike, 500 watt motor with the LG Samsung cells, spring fork, mechanical disc brake, front headlight, beautiful integrated stem with the controller. I think this is a fantastic e-bike for anyone that wants a commuter bike to get to school or work, but also wants a commuter bike that's built tough, that can handle some off-road riding, you know, like you see here, some light off-roading. This can handle that for sure. Is it a hardcore mountain bike? No, this is not a $5,000 full suspension carbon fiber e-bike. No, it's not that. This is just a really tough, good-looking commuter bike that can do some light mountain biking as well. Hit that like button to support my channel. I appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the Eskute Netuno electric mountain bike. All right, take care, guys.